Thank you for joining me here at Pilates Workouts Online. Today we're going to be using the Pilates Arc for another quick warm-up. So if you missed the first warm-up that we did using the Arc, you can find that here. If you're looking for more ways on how to include the Arc into your at-home or studio practice, visit me at pilatesworkoutsonline.com for Pilates Arc training. So it's a training that you can do anytime on your own schedule and learn how to use the Arc as a standalone piece of equipment on the mat, the reformer, and the tower. Hit the subscribe button and that like button, and let's start moving on the mat. We're gonna start today's warm-up in the seat of the Arc. So we're just gonna take a seat into the well here, having our feet out in front of us. And we're just gonna take our arms, cross them in front of our body. So your hands are holding onto your shoulders. And from here, just find length in your body. So take a deep inhale and a full exhale. And as you inhale, feel your rib cage expand, but also feel like you grow a little bit taller with that inhale. And then find your exhale. Let's do that a few more times. Deep inhale and exhale. Deep inhale and exhale. Let's do one more deep inhale. This time as you exhale, let's tuck the pelvis, roll your body back into a C curve, and then take your time as you come back to upright. So inhale, find that length. Exhale, roll your spine back. So as you roll back, you should feel maybe the lower portion of your shoulder blades start to connect, and then we'll come back to upright. Let's do a couple more like that. Just finding that mobility within the spine. Good. And then on this next one, let's go ahead and hold down. And as we hold down, let's just take a deep inhale and full exhale. So as you're holding here, also feel how your spine is connected and supported by the Arc. Deep inhale and deep exhale. From here, let's see if we can take one foot up off the floor as we exhale, and then bring it down. Inhale, and then exhale, other foot lifts. And it could be just a hover, it doesn't have to lift super high, so find your range of motion, but keep pressing back in the Arc. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. So let's see if we can start to add a twist into this. As that leg lifts, twist, rotate towards the thigh, come back to center. Other leg lifts, twist, rotate, come back to center. So think about that opposite rib reaching towards that opposite hip. Staying connected into that breath. This could also just be used as your core series for your class, rather than just the warm-up. Let's do one more time to each side. We'll come back to center. We'll hold here, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, come back up. And then we're gonna roll straight back into that. So we're gonna roll back and hold. This time I'm gonna take my arms and reach them out in front of me. I'm gonna reach one arm up to the ceiling, bring it back down, and then other arm. So I'm gonna keep my neck nice and still, but I'm gonna let my eye gaze follow my hand as it lifts. So my eyes follow the movement, but my head isn't moving up and down. Good, so looking up and back down, look and back down. And let's add a little bit more movement into this. So I'm gonna lift my left arm, and then I'm gonna twist and rotate to the side, reach back to the ceiling, and then lower down. Other arm lifts, twist, rotate to the side, back to center, and then back down. Lift the arm up, twist and rotate, center, and bring it back down. Other side, open and side, ceiling, and back down. Finding that connection to your breath as you move here, and just feel that support from the Arc as we move. Good, reach it up, open. And let's do this one more time to the other side so we're even. Come back to center, and let's just open both arms to a T and center. Both arms open and close. Good. We'll do 3 more. Hopefully you're feeling a little shaking. 2 and 1. Reach those arms forward, come back up to tall, and let's roll all the way back. We're gonna reach those legs out with this as well. So we're gonna start to roll our spine back, start to reach the legs out. Head and arms reach overhead as the hips lift. And then circle the arms around, bring the butt back down, and then roll all the way back to upright. Let's do that a few more times. Roll back, start to reach the legs away. Hands come overhead, head finds the Arc if you can, and then circle the arms out, and then come back to upright. Let's do 2 more. So reach the legs out as you start to reach yourself overhead, lift the hips up, feel it, squeeze the glutes. Circle the arms around, and back up. 1 more. Reaching those hips up. Circle the arms around. And then all the way back to upright. Good. So we're going to make our way to the other side of the arc. So I'm just going to scoot the arc out in front of me. And we're going to lay all the way down. So making sure you have some floor space back behind you. I'm going to take my feet onto the arc. I'm going to slowly tuck my pelvis, walking my hands back until you come all the way down. And I do have another series where we do some inversions. And I give you some options on how to get down here. So hold them to the sides of the arc here in these little slots. And then you're going to bring your legs up. So from here, I'm going to press my legs together. I'm going to tuck my pelvis and then bring my hips up and then roll back down. And I'm starting nice and small here. It's not a big movement. Mostly just moving through that pelvis. Lifting up and then back down. Feeling that weight on the shoulders, the length in your neck. Let's do 3 more. And one more time. We'll bring those hips back down. I'm going to reach my legs out straight and bend back in. Reach my legs to straight and bend back in. Good. Let's reach those legs out and hold. Open the legs, close, and bend back in. Reach the legs out, open, close, and bend back in. Let's do 3 more like this. Feel those hips pressing into the arc. And then we're going to bring those legs back together. I'm going to bend just one leg in at a time, like we're doing our single leg stretch, and then I'm going to switch. So pull in, and then also find that reach and that length out. And so just pressing those hips down. And you can always reach to a higher diagonal if that feels nicer on your body, or find your personal low diagonal where you're not overly arching through the body. You can still stay connected with your shoulder blades on the floor. And let's turn this into a straight leg stretch. So reach that leg up straight and then scissor those legs. Single straight leg stretch. Reach away. Feel like the legs are being pulled away from your body. And think about how the front and the back of the thigh kind of work here. Let's do one more time to each side. And let's go to a big helicopter. So hold the legs split. Circle around. Scissor. Scissor. Opposite leg is on top. Circle around. Scissor. Scissor. Opposite leg on top. Circle around. Scissor. Scissor. Sweep those legs around. Let's do a couple more of these. Scissor, scissor, helicopter around. Scissor, scissor, circle it around. And let's bring those legs back together. Let's lower both legs and lift. As I lower my legs, I'm going to flex the feet and then point to lift. Flex to lower, point to lift. Good, let's do 3 more. And on this last, I'm going to hold to my challenge point. I'm going to take my heels together, toes apart. I'm going to bend in for frog. I'm going to pause here, open my legs wide, and then pull straight legs together. So bend in for frog, open out wide, and pull down together. Kind of like our swimming frogs that we do in feet and straps on the reformer. So bend in, open, straight legs pull down and together. Let's do one more time in this direction, and then we'll reverse it. So hold those legs straight together, open wide, bend the knees, heels together, and then press back out. Open wide, bend the knees, heels together, and press back out. Find your breath, feeling that weight on the shoulder still. Let's do 3 more sets. Take your time as you move. And then we'll hold those legs at a diagonal. We're going to our rollover. So feel free to keep those knees bent and just do that little tuck of the pelvis like we started with. Otherwise, the legs will go to straight. You're going to reach the legs overhead. You're going to lift up off the arc, reach the legs overhead, and then peel back down to the arc, and then reach those legs low. So kind of a rollover variation. Reach the legs over. So you start to peel away from the arc, but then you want to lift those hips up, bringing more weight onto the shoulders, and those thighs are right over your face, and then peel back down. So think about feeling how the butt helps to keep those legs lifted. Reach the legs over and roll back down. We'll do 2 more. And you can always go into your full rollover series here, opening and closing the legs. We'll do 1 more. Good. And then as we come back down, I'm going to bend my knees and take my feet onto the arc. I'm going to still hold them to the sides. And from here, I'm going to lift my hips up into a bridge and then lower back down. Lift up and back down. So depending on the length of your legs, you might be able to even come a little bit further towards the seat. I'm not very tall, so I'm going to just keep my feet more towards the top of the arc. Resist it up and back down. Let's do 2 more. And then on our last one, let's hold that lift. As we hold our lift, let's take one leg up to our chest at a time. So lifting right leg, then left leg. Keeping those hips evenly lifted. And let's do 1 more time to each side. We'll hold one leg lifted, reach it up to the sky. We're going to lower the leg down and then reach it back up. Lower the leg down and kick back up. So we're going to keep your hips up off the arc, so you're still staying in that hover. Hips are evenly lifted. Let's do 3 more. And then we'll reach that leg up, bend the knee, set that foot down, take your other leg, lift it up, and then same thing, lower and lift. Reach it up and back down. Holding those hips evenly lifted. Working to not touch that arc with your butt. Let's do 3 more. And then bend that knee, take that foot back down, and then lower your butt down. So take your feet to the sides of the arc, press the arc out from your butt, and then we'll just roll to one side to come upright. So as you come upright, we're gonna keep that arc in the same position, but I'm gonna lay on my side. And so this time I'm gonna actually lay my hips onto the top of that arc. So just come seated. You're gonna lower down onto your forearm, and then you're gonna lengthen those legs out to straight. So adjust yourself here if you need to. You can even take a little small mat pad and put underneath your hip to make this more comfortable. Top hand on the arc, and let's scissor those legs. One leg forward, one leg back, almost like you're running. But stay lifted out of the armpit. Focus on the breath. Good. And if you need to, just move the top leg if moving that bottom leg feels like too much on the arc for you. 1 more time in each direction. We'll come back to center, and then we'll press ourselves back to upright, moving into the seat of the arc. And let's just reach overhead for a nice mermaid stretch. We'll hold it over, give that top arm a little pull. Slowly come back to upright, and we're gonna do the other side. So I'm gonna flip my arc around. You guys can stay where you are. Good. So from here, again, take your hips towards the top. Lower down so your forearm is pretty close to the arc. Reach both legs out, top hand in front of you for support, and let's just scissor those legs forward and back. And again, you can always just move that top leg if this is too much, or get that little pad to put underneath your hips. Deepen your breath. 1 more time in each direction. And then we'll bring those legs back down, press yourself up, and let's sit into the seat of the arc. Reach overhead for that mermaid stretch. Take that bottom arm, grab that top wrist. Take your time as you come back to upright. We're gonna face towards the arc. So I still have that seat side towards my legs. And I'm gonna take my hips onto the arc. I'm gonna reach my arms straight out in front of me overhead. I'm gonna press back through my heels, lifting my thighs off the seat of the arc. And I'm gonna try to reach up opposite arm to leg. Opposite arm to leg. Find that reach, like your limbs are being pulled away from each other. Let's see if we can hold one side up. I'm gonna sweep the arm back towards my ankle, reach overhead and lower. Other side, lift up, the arm reaches back to the ankle, overhead and lower. Inhale, Good. And exhale. Find that little bit of lateral flexion as you reach into this extension. Let's do that one more time to each side. We'll come back to center, and then we'll press up into a down dog. So sink back into those heels. Let the arms just hang, relax onto the arc. Let's come forward into a plank. Good. And then lift your left leg and then your right leg, reaching back through the heels. One leg up at a time. Good. Keeping that chest open, looking towards your arc. One more time to each side. Come back to center, pike those hips up again, press back into the heels. And then take your time as you release the arms, let them hang heavy. Round your body back to upright. Roll those shoulders back. And then just reach one hand overhead. Come back to center. Other arm and center. Let's do that one more time to each side. Good. And then we'll come back through center. Thank you for joining me for this quick warm-up on the Pilates Arc. If you'd like to learn more about how you can use the Arc in your self-practice or for your teaching, join me at PilatesWorkoutsOnline.com for my Pilates Arc training. Hit the subscribe button and that like button, and I'll see you guys back here soon.